r/ask Reddit. Which cancelled TV show do you wish would come back? HBO's Rome. They had a masterpiece on their hands and threw it away because the BBC wouldn't promote it and it was too expensive. If you haven't watched it, you are doing yourself a disservice even if you have no interest in Roman history. After what happened with Arrested Development, I'm okay with letting sleeping dogs lie. We wouldn't have Cinco de Cuatro without season 4, but yet, the rest of it just didn't click with me. Tobias getting his rocks off was also a highlight. Season 5 makes me appreciate season 4. They all look so sad and tired. And Damovi. Getting closer to reality since Netflix acquired streaming rights to Community. Jeff and Chang doing their podcast. And a table read happening with everyone. Yes, even Donald Glover. Present for a table read in the episode where Pierce dies. Better Off Ted. Season 1. Episode 4. Racial sensitivity. Pretty sure I've never laughed at a show as much as I did for this episode. Also, the Viridian commercials that played before real commercials were amazing. When my workplace rolled out mandatory fingerprint scanners instead of passwords, the scanners wouldn't recognize dark-skinned employees. And it wasn't just black people, it was Indians, Hispanics, and basically anyone who couldn't pass for a tan white person. Not a big deal for corporate testers. Headquarters is in a very segregated city and in the white part of town. For the first month it took someone 3 levels above store general manager to override the mandatory fingerprint and put them back on a password. After a month any manager could call IT and set someone to a password instead. The company never acknowledged why this was changed, and there were never any official guidelines on when to change someone to a password. Freaks and Geeks. It was the James Franco Seth Rogen squad before they made it big. Amazing show. Jason Segel has talked about because Apatow felt so bad that these kids had dropped out of high school and stuff. He spent weeks teaching Segel and Rogen and Starr and Franco how to write screenplays, literally teaching how to use the programs as well as the craft, and pitch ideas and get into other shows and movies. Really took them under his wing, and obviously that reach is pretty wide now. Gargoyles. It was a really good TV show but it got cancelled because there wasn't enough audience. That was because it aired late at night when children were already sleeping. It didn't always air late at night. I used to watch it on Saturday mornings and sometimes after school. It was just a really uniquely ambitious show at the time, with long multi-part story threads. That kind of format was trying to compete with Spider-Man, X-Men, and to some extent the Batman-Superman adventures. So the airwaves were kind of saturated and unfortunately, a unique IP like Gargoyles ended up getting choked out. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I like chocolate milk. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Fun fact, Nowhere is based on an actual real-life town called Truth or Consequences in New Mexico. An elderly couple who lived there would often report paranormal things in their surroundings, until they both vanished with no trace, leaving their dog as the only survivor in the house. Thanks for the nightmare. Eureka. I loved this show. Hated to see it end. Was a good arc though. Miss all the good sci-fi shows like Eureka, Stargate, Warehouse 13, Sanctuary. I loved Warehouse 13 so flipping much. In terms of bringing it back though, since it was originally supposed to just be a limited series, I think it got a good run. Duck Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Scrolled down here just to find this. It's my favorite show and I wish it would actually be resolved in the same format. I don't know what connection the cartoon has to the series WR to plot, but I'm not really interested in it. Of course, there is the issue of Max Landis being a creep, but since we're talking hypotheticals, surely someone out there could continue the show with a similar vision and without sexually assaulting anyone. Reaper if anyone remembers it, or Fringe if done well again. I feel like Fringe has a full run. It was forgotten quickly, but it at least told a complete story. Exactly, it would just get ruined if they tried to add to it. Now I need to rewatch Fringe. Hannibal. Brian's Fuller's shows always got cancelled way too soon. Pushing Daisies, Dead Like Me, Hannibal and Wonderfalls. This is my favorite show to this day. It's so brilliant. Mads Mikkelsen and Hugh Dancy both nailed their performances. My Name is Earl. But if it hadn't been cancelled, then Bert wouldn't have kicked the NBC exec in the nuts and yelled that was for cancelling My Name is Earl and Raising Hope. Seriously, one of the most satisfying moments in television. Granted, I would have loved to see the story arc where Dave Chappelle is Earl Jr.'s real father, but still. Clone High. Season 1 ended on a cliffhanger, and anyone who watched the show has never gotten over this injustice. Somehow it only just occurred to me, but you know what the cool thing is about that cliffhanger? The season ended with every major character being flash frozen. The writers actually left themselves the perfect setup to just pick up right where they left off no matter how much time passes. If there ever were a season 2 of Clone High, I would want the first line to be Abe saying Ian. Warehouse 13. I loved that show and Eureka. Syfy used to have great original shows. Jericho. Cancelling this show after that awesome first season was, in a word, nuts. Danny Phantom. Yo, Danny Fenton. He was just 14 when his parents built a very strange machine. It was designed to view a world unseen. He's gonna catch 'em all cause he's Danny Phantom. Psych. You hear about Pluto? That's messed up. Happy endings. Agent Carter. Yes, it was excellent. I think I was the only person in my theater who recognized Jarvis in Endgame. It was totally unexpected to see him in there. Terra Nova. Lie to me. Mythbusters. I loved Mythbusters, but the later seasons were not as enjoyable from an episode structure standpoint. So much of the episode was previewing what was going to happen, reviewing what happened, then previewing what was going to happen again. Penny Dreadful. I know it's getting a spin-off, but I want a continuation of the original story. Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Carnival. Invader Zim. I just binge Happy on Netflix, and after finishing season 2 I looked it up and it's cancelled. That show was such a spectacularly weird ride. I feel like it was made specifically for me. It's exactly my sense of humor and what I want in a show. I really hope Netflix or someone picks it up. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.